Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Penny. Say hi, Satsu.
Hi, Satsu.
All
Well, that was
right.
enthusiastic.
And I am the Ranting Monkey, your Lord of Pain. How are you guys tonight? How you doing, Satsu?
I am good. I've been napping all day because Squishy's been off and just chilling out with her. And I did a video today, but I didn't upload it, so I just been chilling out, man.
How you doing, Scribe?
I've been working all day,
Oh,
and that's it.
Cool. I didn't do anything today. I did get to sleep finally. Just stayed inside and stayed warm because it's cold as fuck outside. Prospero sorry, not Prospero. TOS wants to know if Prospero has leather butt. Do you guys? Leather butt was from last night. You guys should watch Lords of the Night over on Scribe stream if you want to know what that's all about. Dun dun
Right.
dun.
It actually means something. So
I had
it's
a
not
thought.
it's just not something funny. It actually means something.
what was her name?
I see what you did there.
Ha 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 ha.
No, I saw somebody on Twitter complaining about some pay-to-play game again. And I want somebody like EA or somebody with a big name to make a game and just call it Money Shot, where you can play without paying, but you only get like a little 22, and everything else you actually have to buy. Literally pay to win. Instead of all this fucking around that they keep trying to do, just come out and be honest about it. Give us Money Shot. We need hashtag Money Shot.
The fucked up part is they would be able to easily cash in with no problems if they would just make their game free. Just make it free. Fuck it.
Yep. You sounded hesitant to say that, Monkey. No, it's not that I rarely hesitate to say things. It's my brain trying to catch up to my mouth trying to catch up to my brain. See, I even fucked that up.
Yay!
It's what I do. Oh man, do we have anything to discuss before I get the hat or the tagline and we get into the news?
Are you guys streaming tonight?
Oh yeah, we are. We'll be on 2 Cents Plus playing on the open server tonight, which should be interesting because I don't think either of us have been in the server since we were on last week, although everyone else has been in it. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening.
They're soiling it.
Well, I heard there was some damage from the Horde Night they went through. I haven't seen it though. Kitty says I sound tired tonight. No, I'm not really tired. Physically destroyed. How about that? With that, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button, guys. Please hit the like button. I have ego issues that I need that like button hit. And share our stuff far and wide. I'm actually going to make a video, you guys.
Oh my god!
I know, right? So there will be a video coming. So when that comes, share that. But these guys make videos all the time. Make sure you share those. With that, Scribbles, do we have some... oh, sorry. Connor, thank you so much. Have you seen the movie A Hard Day's Night? The Beatles film?
Yeah, I saw that a long time ago.
I don't think I have.
A better band movie to see is called Head by the Monkees. If you want to see something that's completely bonkers, find the movie Head by the Monkees.
There you go. So what do we got for news?
You like Russia?
I'm ambivalent.
Well, this is the headline news right now. A pro-Russian Twitter account used non-public material from Mueller's team in effort to discredit Russia probe. That's the headline.
There was a lot there. Can you unpack that for me?
Well, hopefully the article will do that for us.
Okay, let's see.
A pro-Russian Twitter account used information from a criminal case that Robert Mueller's team brought against a Russian social media company as part of a disinformation campaign, according to a new filing from the Justice Department. That publication of documents that has been shared with defense attorneys... Wait, what? That publication of documents that had been shared with defense attorneys but not made public in the ongoing case was yet another disinformation campaign from Russia. Wait, if the documents were made, it's not disinformation, it's just leaks.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, I get what they're trying to say there, but you're right. Unless they lied about what it said.
Well, yeah, this time aimed at discrediting Mueller's investigation. Okay, quote, certain non-sensitive discovery materials, non-sensitive. Okay.
Excuse me. Jonathan Malone, thank you. I've got the flu, so here's some money. Also, interrupting Scribe is nice. I had to do it because of that last part. I apologize. Thank you,
well,
John.
At least you said excuse me.
He did.
I did.
Which is a rarity.
I feel like that's a shot against me.
Well, no, I appreciate it, but it is a rarity.
It is. I'll try to do that more often.
Be rare?
Mm.
Oh.
Excuse myself when I usually say I'm sorry to do this. That doesn't count?
No.
I don't know. Do you say I'm sorry to do this?
I say I'm sorry to interrupt or something like that, and you always say, no, you're not.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I do say that because I'm an asshole. Okay. Certain non-sensitive discovery materials in the defense's possession appear to have been altered, and disseminated as part of a disinformation campaign aimed apparently at discrediting ongoing investigations into Russian interference in the U.S. political system, prosecutors wrote. Okay, so they say they altered this non-sensitive material to,
I feel like their headline could have been better.
Yeah, the headline is all over the place. The documents, though they did not contain sensitive information that could harm American national security, should never have reached the public's view, the prosecutor said. Okay. In late October, the account at Hacking Redstone, Hacking Redstone, that's subtle.
Funny.
Posted on Twitter a webpage with documents from the criminal case against Concord Management and Consulting. The computer that had published the documents was in Russia, the FBI found. Some of the documents contained numbers and labels that the Justice Department had used to organize the evidence electronically. But the U.S. government and Mueller's office hadn't been hacked. Instead, prosecutors say individuals who had access to the evidence in the case may have spread it. Quote, Concord's request to send the sensitive discovery to the Russian Federation unreasonably risks the national security interests of the United States, prosecutors wrote. But I thought it was stuff that didn't threaten.
How? They just said it didn't threaten it.
Yeah, the documents, though they did not contain sensitive information that could harm American national security. Okay.
Although we fully support leaks, these leaks are not okay.
Moreover, consistent with the apparent pro-Russian aim of the tweet, excuse me, to the extent that the individuals who created the web page reside outside the United States, this contravention is likely to go unpunished. Okay, so they released not threatening to national security information that they had altered in such a way that wasn't meant to get to the public but doesn't really harm anything. And since it came from a foreign source and it was obtained by people legitimately but distributed against rules, there's no crime or there's no punishment to be laid out.
So it's just we need to talk about Russia. Here you go.
I guess. I mean, I guess.
Go ahead.
No. By all means.
If anybody's going to be punished for it, it's probably going to be the people who gave it to them, right? Not them for using it. Wouldn't that make more sense?
Well, it depends on it depends on how the people obtained it from the defense people. I mean, there's two possibilities. Like, okay, here, defense documents, here, discovery materials. And the defense guys either willingly leak the stuff or it was stolen from them in some fashion. Gotcha. And whichever direction it goes, it's hard to track it down. And what's the harm, I guess? I mean, undermining the Mueller investigation, it's doing that itself with every indictment being anything other than proving collusion. So I'm not quite sure what the information was supposed to have done, but anyway.
We have something needs addressed in chat, and I'm probably going to fuck this up because I haven't done Spanish since year 3, way back in 11th grade. Feliz cumpleaños. Is that how you say it? Did I say it right? To Sad Boy. Sad Boy had a birthday yesterday. Turned 21. That is a big number, man. That's when life starts coming at you fast. So
that's blackjack.
It is. Chicken dinner. Sad Boy. I hope this makes you a little happier. We're gonna do a retroactive birthday.
Do we have to sing it in Spanish?
I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could either. I learned how to sing Happy Birthday in German. That's kind of like Spanish.
Except not.
Oh.
Sad Boy, this one's for you. And a 1. And a 2. Happy Mexican birthday to you.
Oh, boy.
Happy Mexican birthday to you.
Why is this happening?
Happy Mexican birthday yesterday, Sad Boy.
I give up.
Happy American birthday to you. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great 21st. And I'm glad to see that it was safe for you because you're here. What else we got there, Scribbles?
How about some Elizabeth Warren?
Oh, God, what'd she do?
Well, Warren introduces bill to stop the U.S. from using nuclear weapons first.
Okay.
Presidential hopeful Senator Elizabeth Warren introduced legislation Wednesday seeking to stop the U.S. from launching a first strike nuclear weapons attack on another country. Warren of Massachusetts and Representative Adam Smith of Washington, both of whom are Democrats, introduced separate but identical bills in their individual chambers Wednesday. Okay. Quote, by making clear that deterrence is the sole purpose of our arsenal, this bill would reduce the chances of a nuclear miscalculation and help us maintain our moral and diplomatic leadership in the world, they wrote in a joint statement.
Not your place.
What if nuclear weapons are being threatened against us and we know that they're like, you know, the missiles are on the launching pads and they're being fueled? Do we just wait till they go up in the air before we fire ours?
Yeah, they got to hit us first, and then we retaliate.
Okay. Smith, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, has long been critical of the Trump administration's 2018 nuclear posture review and its plans to modernize the U.S. nuclear weapons arsenal. That review said that the U.S. would consider a nuclear response to a potential non-nuclear strategic attack. Quote, the United States will only consider the use of nuclear weapons in extreme circumstances to defend the vital interests of the United States, its allies, and partners, then Deputy Secretary of Defense Pat Shanahan said upon the review's public release in February of 2018. Shanahan is now serving as the acting Secretary of Defense after the departure of his predecessor, James Mattis. While the review opens the door to the U.S. using nuclear weapons in response to a major non-nuclear attack, the administration's policy is consistent with the views of past administrations that opted not to embrace a no first use policy. Quote, the context of an attack that does not involve nuclear weapons initially would be very important to take into account, unquote, when considering whether or not to retaliate with nuclear weapons, Under Secretary of Defense for Policy John Rood said. Okay, so they have the option to use nuclear weapons against a non-nuclear first attack, but it's not necessarily guaranteed that they would just because it is. You know?
It's not Congress's place. It's not Congress's place to do this. Congress, if you guys want to fucking deal with war and stuff, retract the War Powers Act and take that shit back as it's supposed to be in your lap. So that if there is a war, you get the blame if it goes wrong instead of putting it all on the president. What you can't do is tell him how to use the fucking arsenal once he's president. That's his job. Sorry. And what do you think? You think Trump's going to sign this after he's... Fuck off. This is just some posturing bullshit. Fuck off. He is the commander-in-chief. He gets to decide how our forces are used. And
oh, no!
What's up?
Dick Miller died.
Who's Dick Miller?
You remember from Gremlins, the old guy with the snowplow?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he died. He just died. He was 90. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Belatedly, I just saw that. I was like, oh no, because he's been in a whole bunch of. I remember him in Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, and a whole bunch of other things. But oh, that's sad.
That is sad.
Oh,
Wasn't he in a whole lot of stuff back then?
Oh, he's let's see. Let me pull this up real quick, just for the sake of it is news. Dick Miller, a prolific screen actor best known for his role as Murray Futterman in the 1984 classic horror film Gremlins, has died. He was 90. With a career spanning more than 60 years, Miller has made hundreds of on-screen appearances beginning in the 1950s with legendary director and producer Roger Corman. It was then that he starred as Walter Paisley, a character the actor would reprise throughout his career in the cult classic A Bucket of Blood, before going on to land roles in projects such as The Burbs, Fame, and The Terminator. Miller also boasts a long history of high-profile director partnerships, working with the likes of James Cameron, Ernest Dickerson, Martin Scorsese, John Sayles, and perhaps most notably, Joe Dante, who used Miller in almost every project he helmed. In one of Dante's earlier films, Piranha, Miller played Buck Gardner, a small-time real estate agent opening up a new resort on Lost River Lake. The only catch? A large school of genetically altered piranha have accidentally been released into the resort's nearby rivers. He was also in Rock and Roll High School and The Howling, Night of the Creeps. Yeah, he's all over the place.
I have a couple of donations. Thank you, James Colley. This is why peaceful Indians don't make good presidents. And over on Streamlabs, oh my God. Over on Streamlabs, Cryptic says, Military War Tactics 101. You don't limit yourself by telegraphing your strategy or limiting your options, moron. Yeah. I mean, Warren is not smart. She's not AOC dumb, but she's not smart.
I mean, think about the implications, though. Other countries that are maybe interested in going into war with us are like, did these idiots just make an agreement that they can't attack us first?
Yeah.
Okay. That's convenient to know.
Well, we can't be the first ones to use nuclear weapons. Not that we can't attack first, that we just can't use. So if somebody, let's say another 9/11 happens, we can't immediately then nuke Afghanistan.
Yeah, well, if they nuke us first, that's not going to matter, especially if they hit the right spot. Then we ain't going to have the option to nuke back.
Oh, don't worry. We've got plenty of spots where nuclear weapons will come out and fire upon things. They're all over the place. There's not one spot.
That's terrifying.
I learned that from War Games and The Day After and a whole bunch of other movies.
People are so afraid of a nuclear war, and it's never, I mean, only 2 of them have ever been used in wartime anyway. And frankly, Truman was right. But they've never been used.
Well, nuclear terrorism is more likely than an actual nuclear
exactly.
Exchange. Yeah. But that aside, speaking of outbreaks of bad things, that's not a very good segue, but it's the best one I've got. Measles outbreaks in Washington and New York challenge public health systems. Now, do you have any guess as to why these outbreaks are so bad?
I'm going to go way out on a limb here and say anti-vaxxing.
Monkey! The current measles outbreak in Washington state has tallied the highest number of infections. Sorry, tallied, not tailed. Tallied. I got tailed feature on the brain because you had them on your show this morning. Has tallied the highest number of infections since 1996, an official said Wednesday. The 37 cases there include 36 in Clark County, across the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon, and 1 case in King County, which includes Seattle. 1 case in Oregon is linked to the outbreak, Washington Secretary of Health John Weissman said. 2 patients have been hospitalized. Hawaii also reported 2 cases of measles in travelers who were infected in Washington before their visit to the Big Island. Measles is a contagious virus that spreads through the air via coughing and sneezing. 1 or 2 out of every 1,000 children who get measles will die from complications, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The first case in this outbreak has been traced to an international traveler to Clark County who had contact with community groups with low vaccination rates.
I'm shocked.
Washington Department of Health officials identified 11 healthcare facilities, 13 schools and child care centers, and over 100 public places, including stores, where people may have been exposed to the virus. Quote, we continue to have new cases occurring every week and almost by the day, Weisman said. We are fully expecting more counties to have cases as well, unquote. To contain the spread of infection, a state of emergency has been declared in Washington, where resources have been pulled from other public health services, such as visiting nurse programs. State health officials from Washington, California, and New York spoke Wednesday of recent and previous measles outbreaks on a call organized by the Association of State and Territorial Health Officials. Okay, where are we getting to the part about the vaccinations? Okay, as a result of this outbreak, more than 6,000 unvaccinated children have been excluded from schools for over 2 months. Public health officials have spoken with parents, pediatricians, and rabbinical leaders, both in the United States and Israel. I assume that's where the first person came from, maybe, to discuss the issue and promote vaccination. Quote, over 14,000 children were vaccinated as a result of getting this message out, Zucker said, acknowledging that although there may be a, quote, lot of reasons why people don't vaccinate, unquote, sometimes it's just parents, quote, being on the lackadaisical side and not getting their kids shots in time.
Oh, fuck off. We know that it's the... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, MMR triple shot is one of the first things you get when you're a baby. You know, I mean, there's a schedule for it. They have it all planned out. And my mother in my baby book still has my little vaccination card with the dates on it and everything from my birthday up until, like, this is when I got my measles shot. This is when I got this. You just do it. You just do it. Save your kid. Save everybody else. Vaccinate your kids.
But let's be honest. They're trying to make it. Well, it could just be people who forgot. Fuck off. No, we know what's doing it. The rise of anti-vax, and suddenly we have a measles outbreak. The
measles vaccine, known as the MMR, or measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, is very effective. One dose is about 93% effective at preventing the contagious disease if you come into contact with the virus. 2 doses are about 97% effective. It is recommended that children receive the vaccine in 2 doses, the first between the ages of 12 months and 15 months, and the second between the ages of 4 and 6 years old. I got a booster a couple of years ago because I couldn't remember. I was just like, what the hell? I asked them, I said, is there any harm in me getting another one if I hadn't had one since I was like 6 or something? And they're like, yeah, no, it's fine. Oh, great. I got that done. I've actually been gradually getting a whole bunch of vaccines done over the time.
Now you're gonna contract the autism.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to contract. Or I'm going to be... Sorry.
That's what these fuckers think. If we get vaccinations for our kid, they're going to get autism.
The one I always remember, there was a story from several years ago where there was like some cheerleader, and there was footage of her not being able to walk forwards. Like she was stumbling as she tried to walk forwards, but she could walk backwards completely fine. Like her whole body broke down and she's tried to walk forwards. And they said it was because of a vaccine. And then, of course, like a month later after this story broke, she was filmed walking around fine because it was all bullshit.
Of course she was. That's actually a good point there. Hascat says, not just anti-vaxxers. What about illegals? Yeah, that is another reason illegals are a bad thing. Because when you come in, you have to have all of your vaccinations and stuff. So you don't... You know what wiped out the Indians? You know, when they talk about the genocide, it wasn't white people shooting them. I mean, that was some of it. It was mostly disease that killed them. Because you need to be... I hate this world sometimes.
Well, and lastly, something of an update, I suppose. The Jussie Smollett case.
Oh, good. You do have that. Okay.
Police have images of people they'd like to question in the Jussie Smollett attack, or alleged attack.
About time.
Chicago police have photos of people they'd like to talk to in the case involving Empire actor Jussie Smollett, who was the victim, of what police are investigating as a possible hate crime. Investigators have located a surveillance camera that shows people who are now wanted for questioning, Chicago police spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said in a statement on Twitter. Detectives had not yet found still images or video of the actual incident as of late Tuesday evening. Smollett said he was attacked in the early morning hours on Tuesday in a Chicago neighborhood known as Streetersville by two people who were, quote, yelling out racial and homophobic slurs, unquote, and, quote, poured an unknown chemical substance on the victim, unquote, according to police. Smollett reported that one of his attackers also put a rope around his neck. Smollett told police both attackers fled the scene. Smollett took himself to Northwestern Hospital and was in, quote, good condition in the hours following, authorities said. CNN's Don Lemon spoke to Smollett and a mutual friend who was at the hospital with the actor. Smollett confirmed the incident took place. He was shaken and angry that an attack like this could happen. This is the same article I was reading last night. It's just updated a little bit. And that wasn't a quote again. That was just the author saying so. Yeah, so that's the latest and greatest. They've located some images of people who might have been in the area at the time, and they want to question them, but they don't have any footage of the actual incident. And yeah, so nothing else.
Yeah, the article I saw on this, it actually says Chicago police confirm surveillance video and homophobic racist assault. That makes it sound like they actually have video of the assault, and then you have to read down like, no, there's some people they saw on a video that they want to talk to.
Yeah. Well, people are trying to make this story seem like judging from the conversations that I've been having with people on Facebook, there are people literally upset at me because I said, they're like, can you believe this shit? And I'm like, well, I'm just waiting for everything to come out. And they're like, what the fuck do you mean you're waiting for everything to come out? It's because he's black and gay. You just don't believe it. I don't understand why y'all won't believe what's happened and why you think it's fake. And I'm like, I didn't say anything about it being fake. I just said I'm waiting for the information. They're like, what do you have to wait for the information for? Why is it so hard to believe that this happened? And I'm like, are you seriously asking me why am I waiting for the fucking... Like, people were actually getting mad at me, like getting upset with me because I'm not just like, oh, those bastards, how dare they? I'm just like, I would like to see what happened and get some more information because there's not enough right now. And they're just like, the simple fact that we live in America and that this stuff can happen means it absolutely happened. And I'm just like, that's not enough. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Snubber. Sadly, Monkey, a lot of programs pay for their vaccines, just not really at the federal level. In Illinois, they are common and rumored to be paid for by the state. Oh, you're talking about just vaccine programs? They're not that hard. I've had 3 kids. All of them were vaccinated. It was pretty easy to do. We just took them down to the local health department and had it done. As for this story, I'm still on wait mode. As I think, I forget who pointed it out. He left the rope around his neck all the way till he got to the hospital and the police got there. That seems weird to me.
Seems really odd, and considering this vicious attack, there's a lot of shit in this story that seems weird. I've never seen anybody viciously attacked with a scrape on their face.
Real quick, Snub says vaccine specifically for immigrants. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. The scratches on his face. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, I got a little scratch. I was viciously attacked, and they put a rope around my neck, and it was this horrible, deplorable thing, this disgusting act. I kept it around my neck, though, because why? I don't know.
Well, the other thing, we talked about this last night, but I kept thinking about this today as I was walking to work, which it was very, very cold out. I was walking to work in the dark this morning, and I thought, of all the places to take a walk at night on one of the coldest days in recorded history in Chicago, why down near the water? Because that's got to be fucking frigid. You want to talk about just being cold in Chicago? You get that air coming off the water. Holy cats! I can't even imagine. So you're all by yourself, and you're walking down at 2 a.m. in the dark, and there's 2 other people walking around there in the dark in masks who just happen to be carrying rope and a unknown chemical, looking to attack either somebody or you specifically, the individual, depending on how you look at the information.
Thank you, Diesel Dave. It was fucking clothesline. Yeah, I read a story today because they kept mentioning the rope, and I finally saw a story. It's a thin rope. I'm like kite string? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Guys, we have another birthday.
Yay.
We all know Captain Brambles. Captain Brambles has been with us for a long time supporter of the channel. So, Captain Brambles, I know you're not, somebody I'd normally talk dirty to, but how you doing? But this one's for you, sweetie. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to
you. I hope you're happy.
Happy birthday to you.
You asked for this.
Happy birthday, dear Captain Brambles.
We do not accept complaints.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Cap. Love you, man. I hope you had a great day. And from Chicago, Mike, thank you. Scribe, that location is right by Lake Michigan, too.
I just looked it up on the map because I wasn't quite sure. I'd heard it was, he was near the water side or something, but they named this the neighborhood in the article, and so I looked it up because I don't know anything about the layout of Illinois or Chicago, and I looked at it. It's literally like almost like a tiny little peninsula sticking out of the side of land into the water. It's almost like it's a land-made dock off the city, and it's like it's surrounded by water. Why the hell would you go walking down there of all places at 2 a.m. when it's like 17 below?
Yeah. Have you been to Chicago?
Never.
On a good day, the wind coming off Lake Michigan is fucking horrible.
Right, Windy City. Yeah, exactly.
The Windy City, exactly. And you multiply that with the cold of that night. It's not as cold as it is tonight, but it was fucking freezing. Fuck that. There's something we're not hearing. There is something missing from the story.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see it all. Because I mean, like I said, anybody being attacked in the street for any reason, I am 100% against. But it's just like I need more than it happened.
Yeah,
I need a bit more than that, and that's all we really have right now is it happened. And they like, but he took himself to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, after a vicious attack, which seems a little weird, doesn't it?
Well, the weird part is, I mean, he went to his manager's house first. He didn't go straight to the hospital. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. That's he went to his manager's house first, and he convinced him to go to the hospital. So they went to the hospital. Yeah.
Did he have the rope around his neck at his manager's house?
The whole time, apparently. He wore it like a fucking necklace.
Why do you have to be convinced to go to the hospital if you've been savagely attacked and had stuff poured on you?
Beats the fuck out of me.
Okay.
It wasn't me. So Matta says, or asks, is it possible it was sex play gone wrong? From everything I hear, that's what it sounds like to me. Like there was a Tinder date that got set up. Do you remember the scene in Boogie Nights where the one guy pays to watch him beat off near the end as everything's going down, and then they beat his ass because he's gay? Yeah, that's what this just screams to me. But yeah. But again, I'm waiting for the story to come out. I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying I feel there's something missing.
Yeah, somebody tried to pull the because I was putting up a whole bunch of posts about the Covington thing. They're like, you didn't wait about the Covington thing. You instantly started
the fuck you did.
I'm like, are you serious? I did like fucking 12 hours of research, put together a ridiculous amount of footage. Like I went through and analyzed every single bit of that information that we had at the time to try to figure out what the fuck actually took place. Like, what are you talking about?
Diesel Dave, thank you so much. He had to have his manager punch him in the ribs. Again, I'm not saying that this is fake. I'm just saying I have questions.
Yeah, I got questions.
You said that was the last one, right, Scribbles?
Yep.
All right, that moves us on to hashtag MSS News. Guys, if there's a story you'd like us to take a look at, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. We can't get to all of them, but that's just because I don't say excuse me enough. And before we start, Scribe, excuse me, three-sided coin, thank you. Hey, guys, haven't been present while you guys were live for a while. Super busy with life. On this, I do wonder if this Jesse guy is going through contract negotiations now, though. Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, I've never seen. Well, first off, I don't have cable. I don't watch cable TV shows or anything. So I've never seen Empire. I'd never heard of this guy before.
No, me neither.
So I was like, I don't know. It was like Empire Star. Like, well, I guess he was a star of something I never watched. So, yeah. Anyway, this one comes from Frosted Glass, and Monkey's got something to say, because why should I even fucking start reading the story? He's gonna fucking say something.
I have a donation over on Streamlabs. Thank you, Cryptic. Press F for fishy, as in stinky vag. Wait, he's gay, so use your imagination. Oh my God.
What?
Cryptic, I love you. I read it as written.
May I begin?
You better go quick before I get another donation.
Well, that's just an invitation to interrupt me by the audience.
If you guys want me to interrupt him, you know what to do.
Press F for respect. This one comes from Slate, of all places. Memo to managers. The solution to workplace sexual harassment is not gender segregation. You're correct. Yeah, depends, I suppose. Since the fall of 2017, when hashtag #MeToo surged into the national stage and demanded that we reckon with how gender and power interact in the workplace, companies and the men that lead them have been forced, largely for the first time, to be held accountable for the way they behave.
Excuse me. Thank you, Jacob Jet. Interruption donation.
That's just going to be a thing now. Interruption donation.
Indeed.
Excuse me. Chicago Mike, thank you. Scribe just got interrupted again.
If I wait 3 beats and then try to read the story again, another one's going to come in.
I fucking love you guys.
1, 2, 3. Flashpoints in the discussion around toxic masculinity, like the recent Gillette commercial fracas, preoccupy.
James Colley, thank you. Hi, Scribe. Have Super Bowl money for Grand Monkey. Thank you.
3, 2, 1. Preoccupy us for weeks. Parents agonize in the pages of New York Magazine, Time, and The New Yorker over how to raise their...
Excuse me again. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That was a premature one.
Wait. You had a premature interruption?
I did, because I've opened the alert box so that I know when I'm getting them over on Streamlabs, but they come through on both, and I heard the ding, and it was for one that already come through.
So I just experienced reader interruptus.
Monkey reader interruptus. Because that one was on me. I apologize.
That sounds even deadlier. Let's see. How to raise their boys into men who will see women as human beings. And amid all of these productive, if occasionally infuriating attempts to rectify an injustice women have long suffered in silence, some men have, under the guise of taking Me Too's lessons seriously, opted to forego a personal reckoning altogether.
Excuse me. From Cryptic over on Streamlabs, thank you. Interrupting Monkey.
And by the way, Slate, altogether is one word, not all together.
Oh my God. You guys are going to get me in trouble. Thank you so much, Twisted Skipster. Can we say interrupted Scribe? And thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Burp.
You know,
and thank you, Duck Dog. Frauds are everywhere, y'all. Jesse Smollett, 127.
So remember when I came up with the brilliant idea of the Stop Monkey from Smoking campaign?
Indeed.
My irritation is your gold mine.
Thank you, Corey. Objection.
Oh, now we're doing some Phoenix Wright shit here? Okay.
And thank you, Citron. This interruption brought to you by Citron. Oh, my God.
Okay,
thank you, guys.
I'm going to stop there. This is... I don't even know what the story's about anymore. We've interrupted so many times.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Thanks for reading my submission, but please go on.
Yes. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. I saw this today, and I thought, this is about as low as you can get. Oh, am I allowed to read this?
We'll see.
The New York Times is not letting me. I've reached my limit on free articles. Well, guess what, New York Times? Firefox has this wonderful little thing called Private Window, and I can just say, fuck you. Mary Poppins and a nanny's shameful flirting with blackface.
Yeah, I saw the headline from this, and the New York Times, you're fucking morons.
I thought this was a joke, honestly. I when I saw somebody had like a screen capped it or whatever, and I thought it was like a Photoshop parody or something. I just thought like that can't actually be of all I can see coming from The Root or you know, the Mary Sue or something, but the New York Times. But the New York Times
paper of record.
I subscribe to something in the New York Times where they have this constant column that comes out every couple of days called Race Related.
Oh, nice.
Where they do nothing but tell stories of racist stuff and how racism is, you know, the biggest problem in the country right now and everything. And just the other day, and I wish I had caught all of these when they went by, but about 5 or 6 articles in a row posted by the New York Times to Twitter were all about race in some fashion. All of them. And I was just like, okay, why do I bother?
Shio Grant, thank you. Something YouTube approved. And thank you, Jonathan Malone. Interrupting again.
Mary Poppins Returns, which picked up 4 Oscar nominations last week for reasons I don't understand, is an enjoyably derivative film, which is why it deserves Oscars, I guess, that seeks to inspire our nostalgia for the innocent fantasies of childhood, as well as the jolly holidays that the first Mary Poppins film conjured for many adult viewers. Okay, that one paragraph listed all the reasons why that movie should have no Oscar nominations. It's derivative, it's preying on nostalgia, and it's not that good, by the way. But anyway.
But nostalgia.
And nostalgia. Part of the new film's nostalgia, however, is bound up in a blackface performance tradition that persists throughout the Mary Poppins canon, from P.L. Travers' books to Disney's 1964 adaptation, with disturbing echoes in the studio's newest take on the material, Mary Poppins Returns.
It's fucking soot.
White people are not allowed to be dirty, monkey.
Oh, I bathe occasionally.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Twisted Sister, who says, "Wait, okay, continue."
One of the more indelible images from the 1964 film is of Mary Poppins blacking up.
What?
What? That's how you're going to frame it. She was blacking up. She wasn't with a bunch of chimney sweeps, and she jumped through a fucking chimney, for God's sakes. So did the kids. So did Bert. That was the... when the magical nanny, played by Julie Andrews, accompanies her young charges, Michael and Jane Banks, up their chimney, yes, her face gets covered in soot. But instead of wiping it off, she gamely powders her nose and cheeks even blacker. That's the joke. That's the joke.
Thank you, Corey, who says, got it.
Then she leads the children on a dancing exploration of London's rooftops with Dick Van Dyke's sooty chimney sweep, Bert. This might seem like an innocuous comic scene if Travers' novels didn't associate chimney sweeps' blackened faces with racial caricature. Quote, "Don't touch me, you black heathen," a housemaid screams in Mary Poppins Opens the Door, 1943. You know, I've never read a Mary Poppins book, and nothing in the Mary Poppins films said anything about race.
Real quick, thank you, James Colley. I see your black up and Ray's black out. Hi, Scribe.
Hi, James.
Thank you. Looks like the New York Times has picked up a Huffington Post opinion writer.
Who wrote this anyway? Daniel Pollock Pelsner. You got a hyphenated name?
Thank you, guys.
Oh my God. Mary Poppins Returns, set in the 1930s, seems to offer a more racially inclusive vision of the Banks's London. Yeah, by having Lin-Manuel Miranda play Bert's understudy chimney sweep, which I don't know if that's quite Victorian London, but whatever. Well, I guess 1930s isn't Victorian anymore. But a key sequence of the film plays into a much more fraught history from a suppressed part of Mary Poppins' past. Do I really care?
It's fucking retarded. Thank you, Zoran Zero. Good vibes to all. I hope Satsu, Monkey, and Scribe all got Volkswagens. It will make it easier for their significant others to leave them.
Why
you want our significant others to leave us?
I don't have this. Can I just have the Volkswagen?
Well, what's really fascinating about these stories, what I really find very interesting is they double as informing you of something you didn't know. And they're saying, like, you have literally no context as to why this could even be bad in the first place. There's no reason for you to assume that it is bad or negative in any way. But we're here to tell you that it is. But it only is now because we've told you that it is. And this is why it's problematic. You had no knowledge of this thing, so we're giving you knowledge so you can be offended. You're welcome. And I'm just like, why don't you just let people not be offended by it? It's ridiculous.
Did you know that the source material for this thing that's a beloved thing was actually had racist stuff in it back then, but none of that stuff showed up in the beloved thing, but because it's associated with it just by the themes and the character names, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this one comes from Leathery Old Bastard. Never mind. Go ahead, Monkey.
Thank you, Diesel Dave. Had to turn my AC on. It's 70 here in Yuma, Arizona. Dave, I love you, but fuck you.
Let's see. This is a relatively short story, as it were.
Over on the Streamlabs. I'm sorry, I keep hitting my mic, guys. I gotta move it a little bit. Thank you, Cryptic. Mary B. Poppins. She got moves and is the first popper.
Okay. Let's see. Kentucky governor's office says Kim Davis must pay $225,000 to gay plaintiffs for violating their civil rights.
Excuse me. Snubber, thank you. Not offended, Satsu. It's educating about how subtle racism pollutes our society.
Fuck you.
Citing conduct that violates civil rights, lawyers for Governor Matt Bevin say former Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis should be held responsible for nearly $225,000 in legal fees and court costs incurred by couples who sued her in 2015 when she refused to issue marriage licenses because of her religious opposition to same-sex marriage. Although Bevin, a Republican, publicly has praised Davis as, quote, an inspiration to the children of America, his attorneys are taking a more critical tone in court briefs, blaming the ex-clerk for failing to do her job following the U.S. Supreme Court's June 2015 decision legalizing gay marriage. So, there you go.
But she was a representative of the county at the time, so sorry, dude.
That's going to be an interesting appeal. Okay, so Necrosol sent us images. Maybe I guess it's a story. id Software's Tim Willits insists Rage 2 isn't being political. Rage 2, is that a game? I assume that's
a game. Yeah.
Ubisoft have had people scratching their heads when insisting that their games like Far Cry 5 and The Division 2 aren't being political or trying to make statements about America, despite one being a pastiche of a gun-toting Midwest America and the other being set in a battle for the U.S. Capitol. Now we have Rage 2, where the story just cuts off and I don't get the rest of the text. I'm sorry, Necrosol. There's missing text there. I can't follow where the story's going from one image to the next. So I'm assuming there's something in Rage 2 that could be construed as being political.
Since we didn't get that whole article, the other day, Chris Reagan and Louis Laveau got into it back and forth in videos responding to each other. And one of the points made was about Far Cry 5. Mm-hmm. And Louis Laveau was very, very upset that there were so many black people in Montana. That was apparently a political thing. I'm like, I played through that whole game, and the only thing I could maybe take that might have been political was religion bad, because these are psycho religious folks.
But they were cultists, so that's
exactly. I didn't have a problem with there being black people everywhere. It never even entered my mind that, like, oh well, I shouldn't. This game's wrong because there's too many Negroes.
The only people who said that were the fucking activists. The people who beg for black people to be in games. They complained that there were black people in this game.
Well, them and now Louis Laveau. What were you going to say, Scribe? I'm sorry.
Here's the problem. There are no black people in that game.
Oh, yeah?
They're all chimney sweeps?
No, they're all computer-generated individuals. There are no black people in Far Cry 5.
This is true. Thank you.
I hate to tell you this, guys, but it's all fictional.
Thank you, Zorian Zero. I thought Mary Poppins was about an alien entity coming to Earth and corrupting our youth, using her mind powers to control everyone to sing and dance. I actually liked Mary Poppins. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I enjoyed it when I saw it.
Mary Poppins and Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks, very underrated. You never hear about that one, but Angela Lansbury, when she was like practically a teenager, and it was the first time I'd ever heard like bagpipes when the suits of armor are all animated by the magic and the bagpipes start playing. And Bedknobs and Broomsticks is great and very.
The other, I like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang too. That was fun.
Yeah,
let's do one more because we're getting to the end here.
This one comes from senior staff reporter Jack the motherfucking Cockring. Mystery tunnel found pointing toward Florida bank branch.
I saw this headline. That's fucked up.
The FBI and local police are investigating a Miami area mystery. Who dug a narrow tunnel that burrowed beneath a road and pointed towards a quiet suburban bank branch office? FBI spokesman Mike Leverock said Wednesday, Leverock sounds like a Flintstones name, said Wednesday that officials were notified after a motorist reported what looked like a sinkhole in a street near a Chase Bank branch in Pembroke Pines. Investigators found an entrance hole in a nearby wooded area that contained a small electric generator and some electrical cords. The tunnel led under the road toward the bank a distance of about 50 yards, and it was only about 2 feet wide. Quote, the only thing I've ever seen like this is in the movies. This is truly a unique case here, Leverock said. It's very small, very claustrophobic. Investigators said the tunnel appeared to be dug by hand using tools such as a pickaxe, with a small wagon used to transport dirt and rock outside. A small ladder and a pair of muddy boots were also found inside the tunnel. A cadaver dog determined there were no bodies inside the tunnel. It wasn't immediately clear how long the underground structure had been there.
Excuse me. Thank you, Snubber. The Quartering covered what this article was about. They're mad Rage 2's villain wasn't put in as an allegory to Trump. Okay.
Wait, they're mad the villain wasn't made political?
Yes.
Yeah, this has been kind of an issue that's been going on for a little bit, where people are saying that the media is being released and it's not political enough. Like, it's not pushing an agenda, and they want it to. They're like, you need to shut down the oppressive structures in America if you're going to put media into the world. If you're not doing that, then you're not really using your position of power properly.
Yeah, I get you. You got to be a good ally. Real quick, thank you, Ryan Walters. I thought Mary Poppins was about a blue alien.
That's why there was that character in the vampire game that was specifically talking about to defend against the quarantine, we must build a wall.
Build the wall.
Yeah, and he's this evil old man, and you can either. Well, I won't give away the story, but anyway, yeah. So when that was, I was just like, that's a little too much on the nose, isn't it? But if that's the thinking now, that in order to be progressive or ally or whatever, you have to represent your chosen villain of the week in the games or media you're producing in order to virtue signal through the ages. There you go, I guess.
As for the tunnel, shouldn't they have backed off and waited to see who went in it?
Well, that's the thing. They didn't know how long it had been there. They couldn't tell whether it had been there a week or a month or a year. So they don't know whether to stake it out or anything else. So just, yeah.
See, I would have staked it out for at least a week. And like, hey, let's see what dirty little fucker's trying to dig to the bank. Oh, that's awesome, though. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up MSS News. Thank you so much for the donations and the subscriptions, which both came through there. You guys are awesome. That brings us on to the YouTubes. And Satsu, what you been working on?
I did another Monster Hunter related video today, but it won't go up until tomorrow. I also have about 4-ish videos that I got lined up that I want to work on. Let me see here. I actually wrote them down. I was going to talk about Anthem, Anthem's microtransactions, Resident Evil Remake review, Resident Evil being too hard, and a possible Resident Evil 3 remake being in the works. So that's it's all themed on stuff that's happening right now. So
all right.
Be on the lookout.
Let's see. I did a Monkey in the Morning, which was much later than normal because I was actually trying to sleep last night. I crawled into bed. I watched South Park for like an hour and a half, and Lady Monkey woke up. And then I just could not get back to sleep until she did. And I woke up with a horrible pain in my ear. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do a Monkey in the Morning. So that came out actually around 7 instead of 2. I am working on a video. I've got a lot of it done already. I just have to sit down and put it all together. The abortion law in New York and this fucking video out of Virginia have pissed me off. I don't want to give too much away, but when you're literally saying that you can abort a baby for the mom's mental health as she's dilating, that's no longer abortion. And I'll get into that in the video. It's not going to be a fun one, guys. It's going to be me probably ranting. I don't know when it'll be out, either tomorrow or the next day, but it is coming. And we are playing 7 Days to Die over on the open server. If you'd like to join us and you have it on Steam, because we play through Steam, check out my Discord, check out Satsu's Discord. Up in the pinned area on the general tabs, you can find the information how to get in there. We'll be doing that right after this over on 2 Cents Plus. You can also just come and watch because it's a lot of fun. Scribbles, what did you work on?
Even though I had a very, very, very busy day at work because the month end's coming up tomorrow, I did find a video that caught my attention. It's a, I don't know what you want to call it, a mini documentary following people as they climb our border fence and talking about the hardships they went through to get there and their struggle to become asylum seekers as they climb the border fence. And the thing that caught my attention amongst all the rest of it is that the main group they're following includes a mother and the 4-year-old daughter she drug with her 2,000 miles from Guatemala to get there. I think it was Guatemala. It was either Guatemala or Honduras. I forget. Either way, I was just like, and there's one point at which they're getting ready to climb the fence in the middle of the night. And the one guy turns to the group and says, okay, if you haven't run into ice before, you go first because then you can claim asylum. And I was like, I'm not sure if that's how that works. I could be mistaken. But anyway, so yeah, it's if I get through it and it's interesting enough, it may become the next chapter in my Expatriate game series.
So you will watch the series of a camera crew, presumably American, documenting people breaking the law?
I can't say what the nationality or citizenship of the camera crew was. There was no footage of them assisting them over the wall, just documenting them going over the wall. So I don't know what the legalese would be for it. So I got to do a little bit of research because I remember something about. And somebody in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. There are 2 ways you can apply for asylum. Either you can go to a point of entry, and there's a form you can fill out, or there's some procedures you can go through to apply for asylum. Also, I think, and correct me, if you enter the country illegally, but are still within 100 miles of the border, or within a certain span of time after doing so, something like that, you can apply for asylum even if you've entered illegally.
Mm-hmm.
I forget exactly the specifics of it. So they may not be completely wrong, but at the same time, it's like, well, if you're in Tijuana, why not just go to the point of entry and apply? Why climb over the fence at the same time? Oh, is that because you're trying to, like, avoid the bureaucracy and get caught up in the little villages down there, not doing it legitimately?
Sorry, to super chats. Thank you so much, Diesel Dave. None of these fools qualify for asylum. And thank you, Cryptic. Landmines and wild boars to clean up the corpse.
Yeah, well, I sort of ethically, I would agree they don't qualify for asylum, but legally, I believe they can, depending on the circumstances. Again, I'm not.
They can apply.
They can apply. I don't know what happens after they've crossed over illegally and then go apply somewhere. I don't know if they're then subject to deportation or other punishments or anything. So I'll have to look some stuff up. But anyway, that's what I found, but I didn't have a chance to look up much today because I was doing work stuff.
I don't think we talked about this yesterday, but since we're on YouTube, a huge congratulations to Sinatra, who hit 100,000 subs, guys.
That's right.
Friend of the show. Congratulations, my friend. Well earned, and good luck the rest of the way, because that is awesome, man.
Oh, he gets a silver play button now, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Oh boy, you think they'll send it to him if he applies for it?
I don't know, but he got his check mark on YouTube.
Oh,
yeah, he got that today. He noticed it when we were on Monkey in the Morning this morning.
Nice.
Yeah. So congratulations, bastard. He's actually inspired me to try to make more videos. I got my mic here. I love it. It's right in front of me, guys. I've actually been leaning back even more than I normally do during these, so I can't wait. So that I'm inspired. I'm gonna do more. But seriously, congratulations, Sinatra. That leads us to fucketry time. Do you guys have any Satsu? Any fucketry you've seen today?
Outside of the talks about about the situation or whatever that's going on now, because that just kind of threw me for a loop. And I talked to quite a few people, and there are some people who are just mad because he's black and he's gay. That's the reason. They're like, that's why I'm upset, because of that fact, and that's why I believe it happened, regardless of any evidence or anything. And I don't need that because he's black and he's gay. But I don't know, man. So just the idea that people like, I want to be a sheep. Like, I don't want to have to think for myself. I want the media to tell me what to believe and what to think. And I think you should too. And I feel like I have some type of problem with you as a person because you don't want to be a sheep. And I'm like, that's so weird. That is such a strange sentiment to have. Almost to the point to where some people who were like coming out and defending them and arguing with them kind of backed off when I made that point. Because I'm like, you do realize you're literally arguing with me over whether or not I should just believe everything that I hear, full stop, like without questioning it at all. Like that's what you're arguing for right now. He was like, I just don't understand how you can question this happening to him. I'm like, I question anything happening to anyone if I don't have enough information. Like, that's just the standard. I don't understand how that's a problem. And like some of the other people who were initially defending them kind of backed off and was like, I mean, that's not wrong. So it's just, I don't know. It was just an odd thing to experience. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just that whole thing, all the fuckery that I dealt with.
Thank you so much, Prospero, over on Streamlabs. As an FYI, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is an MD. Yeah, I've dug so much into that. Diesel Dave, thank you. They have to be being persecuted by their government for religious, racial, or political beliefs. Oh, the asylum seekers. Yeah, they can apply though. Whether they qualify is a different question.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think even, like I say, even though ethically or something, it seems a little unfair, but legally you can apply for asylum even if you've entered the country illegally. I don't know what there's either a time restriction on that or something like as long as you haven't gone further than some distance from the border when you apply before something. I don't know what it is.
I want to say it's either 6 months or a year that they have to apply once they're in the country.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Oh, I know. I remember what it was. It was something like if you're caught within 100 miles of the border after entering the country illegally, you can be immediately deported without all the procedures. I think that was what that 100-mile thing was. Something.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I got my wires crossed.
Scribbles, any fucketry?
The only fucketry I've got is tangential to what Satsu was talking about, except I just posted or I retweeted, I should say, a story out of the AP at the time, at least, saying that they hadn't found any video yet of the attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frosted Glass posted a picture in response to that. That is a little rendering of the hand formation for the shocker. And so, the implication being it's like they haven't found the video yet. Shocker. That was the joke.
Right.
Well, this started a cavalcade of responses with people going like, what is that? What does that mean? Da 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 da. And it went on and on and on. I think that one post, which I didn't even say anything, I just retweeted the story, got more responses than just about any tweet I've ever put out there, all stemming from Frosted Glass putting that symbol up and people discussing the shocker at length. Was it one in the pink and two in the stink, or two in the pink and one in the stink? Literally, that was one of the arguments going on back and forth in this thing. Like, I think I got it backwards. Like, that was my fucketry for today, more or less.
Nice. I have very little because I wasn't on here very much, but I do have a few. The first one comes from a viewer, and I don't mean to call you out, but UFO Answer sent me a story, and we'll get to the tweet in a second that accompanied it. But this is a CNN story that says superintendent is charged with using her son's insurance card to help a sick student, but she'll keep her job. Did we read this?
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, I didn't think we had. So what happens is this chick goes to check on a boy who hasn't been in school, and she's helped him before with clothes and stuff. She knows he's not taken care of very well. Well, she gets to his house and he's sick, so she takes him to the doctor because she thinks he might have strep. And when they get to the hospital, they're like, we can't treat him. He's underage and you're not his mom. Thank you, Adabisi. Well, is it 2 in the stink? I don't know how many were in the stink, dude. So they get turned down because that's a legal thing. You can't take somebody else's children to the hospital. So she goes to another hospital where she pretends he's her kid.
Okay.
And she's been charged with a few felonies and a misdemeanor over it. But the school system she's with said they're not going to punish her.
So I guess it's do the ends justify the means question.
Yeah, and this isn't a case of the boy didn't have insurance or he didn't have a guardian. She doesn't want to call CPS on this kid because she thinks it'll cause even more problems for him. And I understand that, but you did break the law. And there is a reason you're not supposed to take other people's children to the fucking doctor. You know fuck all about his medical history, sweetie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's the article. And how do I feel about it? I don't know. I'm glad the kid got taken care of, but she should have went to his mother. You need to take him to the doctor instead of going and lying, because she's on the hook for fraud now. She used her son's insurance for this kid.
Insurance fraud. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. But this is the tweet. It says, this story must upset you immensely. Don't they know that sick kids are what's needed to make America great again? If you want to help sick kids, you want America to become Venezuela. Continue ignoring real issues and praise Donald Trump's 7D chess.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No idea what that was supposed to.
Like, can I get a translator for this?
Now,
That's some Alex Jones level. What the fuck, right there.
the best I can get from this is that I don't pay attention to every story that's ever written. And you know what? I can't see every story that's ever written, but it is entirely possible for me to talk about Donald Trump. And if this story comes across my desk, talk about it. I can't even remember the last time I praised Donald Trump. I'm sure it was a couple of days ago with the shutdown, because I do think he's playing a game of chess with them right now. But I also, at the same time, criticized him for how he handled it up till then.
So wait, that tweet was at you?
It was at me.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes not that it makes sense as in I understand why they said it to you, but I didn't understand the context. Like, I thought it was just a tweet that you saw, and I'm just like, that's really random.
That was directed specifically at me. That was at Ranting Monkey.
Huh.
And I'm like, I
Is this
don't.
anybody you've seen before, or do you know?
This guy, yeah, he's been in our chat before.
Oh, okay.
This is a guy who got really, really mad at me because I was fucking with AOC.
Oh, okay. All right. Now it's all coming together now.
He used to be a viewer and a pretty consistent donor to the channel, actually. And he got very mad at me on a Monkey in the Morning because I was making fun of her, and it was the one where I first made fun of how she looked.
Oh no, donkey teeth,
donkey girl. Yeah, and since then he's been really mad at me over things, and I, you know what, be mad at me if you want to disagree with me on something, that's fine. I enjoy it, but make it rational. I think
coherent.
Rational. This is the internet, Monkey. There's nothing rational here. Hell, it's not very rational for us to be like, you know, commentary and punditry and everything. It doesn't make any sense. Why are we here?
Yeah. Do you guys know who David Bishop is?
Is he the android from Aliens?
He's not. He goes by David, or by Liberal Penguin over on Twitter. He's a liberal. Me and him argue occasionally.
I've heard the handle before.
He runs a podcast called I forget the name of it. Sorry, Dave. But he's come on Monkey in the Morning a couple of times, and we've had debates that were not necessarily productive, but they were fun. They weren't. The first time he came on, he's like, I thought this was going to be blood sports. I'm like, no, we don't do that fucking bullshit. But he tweeted this out. He said, this whole thread is some hard truth that everyone needs to hear. And I'm not going to read it all, but it's about the whole abortion thing. There's a doctor, Jennifer Gunter, and she goes in to explain why you shouldn't worry about like the New York law and the proposed Virginia law. And there's actually a few states that are doing this. And she lies. She outright lies in this because she makes it. She talks about how hard it is to get an abortion after 24 weeks, that you have to have several medical doctors agree. And that's the part that annoys me, because the whole point of these laws is that you don't need that anymore. It's one doctor gets to make this choice. And I understand people who want to fight back and forth about this, but I've said this before. If you want to have an abortion debate, and one of the reasons I don't get into it very often is because you have to be honest, and people just aren't. They're just not. And she's not. She brings up this one case about this girl who was raped by her brother. And so way at the end of for some reason, they wait until after 24 weeks to have an abortion. And it was so hard to get, and she had to have a court approved. Fuck off. It has nothing to do with what everybody's talking about. And this happens, and I'm sorry to pull this. This happens on both sides. I saw fucking Mitch McConnell do it today. Mitch McConnell was up there arguing against H.R. 1, which is the Democrats' first bill that they put forward, and one they're all pushing, and it has a whole bunch of things in it. One of the things in it is making Election Day a federal holiday. Real quick, I'm sorry. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. You need to bring me on to back Dave up. He's always outnumbered. You know what? Sometime you could come on, dude. But Dave does handle himself very well. But yeah, so one of the things in there is a federal election holiday. And McConnell actually calls that a power grab.
How?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
Yeah, because they also want to get, part of it is also federal workers could have up to 6 days off to go help at polling places and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't need them to be out there doing this, and also matching funds for congressional candidates. He's like, this is just a power grab. I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Whose power is being grabbed by
I don't know.
allowing more people the ability to vote?
If you can figure that out, you're a better man than I.
Unless he's assuming that somehow this. Well, I mean, okay. The only way it makes the only argument that makes it a power grab from McConnell's view is if he's somehow making an argument that this only helps Democrats.
Exactly.
Now, okay, let's game this out for a moment. How might one construe a national election holiday as a pure Democrat advantage? How could you wiggle that out? Like, Democrats vote more frequently than conservatives or Republicans? Is that true, or is that something I just made up?
Time out 1 second. Thank you, Snubber. They think the apathetic voter will vote their side. And thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Voting day is a holiday, but only for men. Monkey. No, women can still vote. Remember, their vote just doesn't count. I don't know. The only way it would make sense is if they think that the only reason Democrats aren't voting more is because they're working too hard. I mean, he used the word fucking power grab. It's like, that's not a power grab.
Yeah.
That's letting people get out there and vote. You know, we don't need a paid holiday for federal workers so they can vote. Well, let's have that debate, dude. I don't think it should be part of this overall bill. I think it should be separate. And I do think it's a good idea. Make it a fucking federal holiday.
Yeah.
Or maybe he thinks that a lot of Republicans that don't get to vote, or it's probably because they're at work. So they're like, that's not fair. If you let all the working people off to vote, we're going to lose.
Oh, that's an argument right there. If the whole idea is the working class gets more opportunities to cast their ballot, and you assume that the working class lean more liberal/Democrat, then I suppose that could be where his paranoia is coming from.
Old Grouchy Gamer says, I've voted in every election since '72. You don't need a holiday to vote. Well, it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
When I go to vote, it takes me no more than half an hour, and that's if it's really busy at my polling place. There are others, I mean, you see lines going around blocks.
Yeah.
And I have no problem making it a federal holiday so people can have the day off to go vote.
It also depends on what states allow mail-in ballots and which ones don't, and how they do the whole precinct thing. Yeah, so it could be a really major advantage to people who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to vote or have a lot of difficulty doing so. And I've always thought that it should be. Why wouldn't it be a good idea?
Don't other places do it? Like, what other places do that? I heard that there's a few. Is it like over in the UK or whatever, someplace, or was it Australia? Someplace I heard they're voting, like the day to vote is like a holiday or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not. I remember hearing something like that.
Jack says federal workers, I imagine, are mostly Democrats. Giving them extra time off could mean more campaign power for the Democrats. Look, I don't agree with the 6 days off to go to polling places. That's unnecessary. Yeah. But a fucking day to go vote, sure. I have no problem with that. Chicago Mike, thank you. Have a holiday for election day, but not a photo ID. Yeah, I'm for the photo ID as well, so I have no problem with that. I have to show my ID when I vote. And then they check it against the list, and they're like, yes, that's you, and I get to go vote.
That's racist, though, man. You shouldn't have to bring your ID to vote.
Well, that's okay. I live in a very, very white place.
Yeah. Besides, how many talking orangutans are there?
Don't you know pathetic black people can't afford IDs? So this.
I know.
I saw that. You see that video where the guy was walking around asking people, like, "So you can't afford an ID, right?" And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I hear that black people just can't, they don't have state IDs. They don't have access to getting an ID. It's like, I have an ID. What? It's like, so funny.
The other thing I saw, this is in relation to a story we'll discuss in just a second. Bridget Fedesi, I think is how you say her name, over on the Twitter machine. She tweeted out, "So people who hate billionaires, I have a question for you. If Oprah ran for president, would you call her a greedy sociopath for amassing a fortune too?"
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's a lot of people who like, we want Oprah to win or run, and now that Schultz has kind of said he's going to run, and Bloomberg has been talking about it. There's a lot of people. Money's bad. Elizabeth Warren attacked Michael Bloomberg. Bloomberg came out and he was asked about her ultra millionaire tax, and he goes, I don't support it, and I think it's probably unconstitutional. And Elizabeth Warren, do I have those tweets? I think I do. Where was she? Oh fuck, I didn't respond to it. She came out and said, the really wealthy people, they just want to stop us from stopping them, and it's not going to happen on my watch. I'm like, woman, your tax, if you really meant it, you would have done it for less than $50 million. Come on. You went $50 million because you know that's not going to hit you. Because Elizabeth Warren, whether you guys know this or not, pretty wealthy. She's fairly well off. Jenna P, thank you. Does your ID say ranting monkey or ranting Frank Monkey? Something like that. I should change my name legally.
There is one aspect of the whole rich thing that's always kind of bugged me, and I don't know that there's a legislative cure for it necessarily, unless we could go to campaign finance laws. But I've always been a little irked that you essentially either have to be rich or have to have access to tons of money to run for president. There's no way, seemingly, to run for president as your Joe average citizen.
And not have any kind of chance.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah, the legal requirements are a natural-born U.S. citizen, 35 years of age. That's it for the legal requirements. But let's be honest, there are more requirements than that, and most of them have to do with money and money. And so I made this argument a long time ago when it was Bush running against Kerry.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a discussion with somebody, and I said, I'm not really a fan of the fact that we effectively have to have a competition of American kings in our presidency, because we don't have a royalty or a feudal system per se, but we do have a class separation, and by class, you can't even hope to compete for president if you're not in the upper class.
You're not wrong. But it is possible to get like the money behind you if you get up through the party. I mean,
sure, it's possible. But I've always thought that there should, and I'm not quite sure how it would work, but I always thought there should be like some campaign finance rules that say that, you can only spend this much on this, or everybody gets airtime equally and doesn't have to pay, something that just makes it a bit more, not trying to deny people who are wealthy the opportunity to spend their money how they want to spend it per se, but that there should be some leveling for Joe Average to have a chance, because otherwise it's always going to be these big name rich people and or people with influence that, and no one else has an opportunity.
Well, isn't like being president and having influence, isn't that like important? Because you'd still have to communicate with like other places or whatever, like other countries and all that type of stuff. So like, I would think that having influence would probably be like a really determining factor, because a lot of other countries aren't going to work with somebody they don't know.
Don't get me wrong. It would be an advantage, but it shouldn't be a requirement.
Real quick,
it shouldn't be an extrajudicial requirement that thou shalt be rich and influential to run for president.
Real quick, thank you, Three-Sided Coin. But you can get to that upper class, Scribe. That's what is so amazing about America. Yeah.
All the 99% of us that can't. Yeah, true. We could maybe, but most of us can't and won't. or how hard we work. My dad's worked his entire life, and he's not in the upper class, and he never slacked off at all. But you know,
Well, here's the one. I wonder how many people would even want that job. Honestly,
I know I would.
Honestly, there is no honestly getting that job.
Well played. I think more important than even being wealthy is you have to. The problem is the two-party system. Our two-party system. These guys make sure that there's only two parties. They might hate when they lose, but they know that when they run next, there's only one other party that they have to run against. That's why 1992 was so fucking weird. It is very rare for you to have a third party. And yes, you're right. In that case, it's because Ross Perot had to spend a shit ton of his own money.
Yeah.
So if you don't go up through as a Democrat or Republican, going to be becoming a governor or a senator, then yeah, you're going to have to spend a buttload of your own money. And the problem is our two-party system more than it is money, actually.
Well, but still, like I say, I think the money requirement, regardless of whether you're affiliated with a party or not, is unfairly prohibitive to the participation of people and let me just alter it slightly, not just for president. For just about any major federal office, it takes millions and millions of dollars, even if it's in the single-digit millions, to do so. And you know, most people don't have that ability.
I would agree with you if this was 20 years ago. Ocasio-Cortez is a great example. She didn't have to spend much money at all. I think the bigger problem right now is not being media savvy. I think we're going to see the world change in the next 20 years or so as social media does take over, and it's so much cheaper to get your name out there on social media.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I just
right.
It's always bugged me that our equivalent of aristocracy seem to be the only ones who have a shot at leadership or governorship in our country. A lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time.
Thank you, Diesel Dave, who says, and then they kidnapped his kid to make him quit. Are you talking about Perot?
What?
If you're talking about Perot, he dropped out after he made his these people or you people remark, and then jumped back in when he realized he should have just stayed.
I always loved his running mate, the Admiral Stansbury or Stanton or whatever his name was.
Oh, fuck. What was his name? Shit. If you hadn't said that, I would have known it.
Yeah. Anyway, he comes out on stage, and the very first thing he says when it's his turn to talk, he says, "Who am I? Why am I here?" And I thought that was great.
Yeah,
he completely flubbed everything else after that, but I thought it was a great opener.
Data says AOC is the exception, not the rule, Monkey. I think she's a bellwether, actually.
God, I hope not. Not for her quality.
Well, see, that's another thing. I mean, when you talk about the rich, a lot of them come. I mean, that very few of them are self-made. Let's be honest. But they come up. They go to the best schools, the best colleges, and then they end up in usually going a career political path. So, I mean, when you compare that to, me, seriously, who wants me as president? I would love to be president, but who would really vote for me?
I would.
Functional says AOC also comes from money. Yeah, but she didn't have to spend millions on her campaign. And I think we're going to see that a lot more in the future, especially as social media takes over. I mean, the only reason so much attention is because of social media. If it hadn't have been for Twitter and Facebook campaigns for that motherfucker, Ted Cruz would have won that in a walk. But the times are changing, guys.
Yeah.
Three-sided coin. Thank you so much. Tea Party Republicans of 2010 were mostly not rich. There's a lot of examples of not, but what Scribe said there, it wasn't just rich. It was also having money behind you. And if you can get a party behind you, yeah, I mean, you get money. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and turn this over to chat because we're talking to them a lot. Anyway, chat, questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat right now. We will do our best to address them as we talk amongst ourselves as well. Lady Monkey for president. Even Lady Monkey says women shouldn't be president.
Yeah, watch Lady Monkey institute nipple twisting as a punishment.
This is a woman who openly admits she used to manipulate me because she knows I can't stand a crying woman. So she would cry to get her way.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that's not fair.
Wow, that's such a new concept.
I know, boy, Monkey fell for that. How could Monkey of all people fall for that? It's somehow novel trick.
Look, I am and it's probably maternal issues from losing mom so early, but I cannot stand a woman crying or a girl crying or a little baby crying. I have to make them better.
That's patriarchal, Monkey, and you're.
I know it is, but it's just true.
That's toxic monkulinity.
Jagunsky says, ranting monkey, the majority of the 1% is self-made. And if you can't make it to the upper class, how can you argue to hold the most powerful office in America?
Is that the argument then? Only successful people in business or whatever in finance should be president?
I don't know. I don't think making a lot of money necessarily makes you capable of government material. Yeah.
So, in regards to the billionaire thing,
what the hell? I'm sorry. I have an emergency alert on my phone. Oh shit!
What?
They're asking everybody to lower the temperature in their homes to 65 or less.
Oh, is there a power shortage?
I see. This is what I was worried about with all of this, and Lady Monkey kept telling me, "Stop saying that." I'm worried about power outages.
Oh yeah.
If I'm inside my home and we have power, I don't care about outside at all. We're fine. But yeah, we just had an emergency alert come through asking everybody to lower their power consumption.
Okay.
Not going to do it. Sorry. My skin can't take 65 degrees.
That's racist.
No, seriously, my back would go into spasms.
So this is the tweet that I saw. It says, billionaire isn't a qualification. It's the description of a person who is hoarding more resources than they can use in 1,000 lifetimes while other people are starving. It is a name for a human dragon sleeping on his pile of rubies and gold.
Just to make it clear, I don't think that having wealth is a moral indictment against someone running for president. I'm just saying that wealth should not be an obstruction to citizens of the U.S. who qualify otherwise being able to have a shot at the job. That's all.
Where would like for their campaigning and stuff, like where would the money come from? Like would that be like allocated?
No, it'd be, so there have been plans, there have been proposals out there. I don't have them in front of me because I'm not an expert on this, for what they call free and fair elections, where, you know, if you want to run for president and you make all the qualifications and you get enough, you know, either like either primary votes or some votes in some pre-election or something like that, then you qualify for some stipend from the federal government in both advertising, debate time, and television time. That is essentially just granted to you as a candidate for president, and then donations come in. Like the size of donations is limited down to very small numbers, small amounts, so that you can't have, like, you know, giant, huge corporations dumping all their employees $2,000 donations on you at once and calling it individual donations, etc. There's plans out there for it. There's proposals for like level playing field elections to do that.
Real quick, thank you, 3-Sided Coin, for Monkey's backup generator fund. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, see, I seriously, guys, I can't wear a shirt. It hurts my fucking skin, and I'm very sensitive to cold right now.
Is it particular materials or just a shirt in general?
A shirt in general. You seriously, you do not realize how much your shirt moves across your back until you're in my situation.
Yeah.
Every time you move, it goes across. Diesel Dave, thank you. How much money do you fucking need? I do not have a problem with people, I'm using air quotes, hoarding their wealth. One, for all the talk about how much they hoard, the super rich, they donate a shit ton. They really do. Whether and there's a lot of people. Well, they only do it for tax reasons. I don't give a fuck. They still do it. Do they have more money than they need? That's not for me to say. That's not. I mean, do yourself. And a random American asks, "Do you want an unsuccessful person to be president?" Well, it depends on the person.
How do you measure success? Just by money?
Yeah. Remember that the Starbucks guy, he was in charge when the whole racism thing went down at Starbucks.
Yeah, being a corporate leader or something does not make you smart. Being a millionaire does not make you a genius. I mean, for all the complaints about Donald Trump, I don't think he was temperamentally qualified to be president. That doesn't mean he's not legally qualified. That doesn't mean I don't think he should have been able to run or anything. It's just like I wouldn't pick him as the leader of the country. But there you go.
So this article I'm looking at says the substance was identified as bleach.
Huh. Okay.
Somebody was running around with bleach and a rope, looking for a gay black man at night.
So
Kiss my ass. The only way that this is real is that it was a targeted attack. Sorry, nothing else makes sense. Sorry, we've gotten talkative, and you guys are talkative as always. Are you okay with people who have a middle toe abnormally longer than their foot? Longer than their foot?
Longer than their foot?
Holy shit!
That is one fucking long toe. What are they like? Like a sloth or something?
Yes, I think
fucking T-Rex. I mean, not a T-Rex, a raptor.
It's a fucking raptor.
Just a stumpy toe with like a big fleshy tube coming out of your foot.
Holy shit!
If you just mean longer than everyone or their other toes, no, I don't have a problem with that.
Why is that a characteristic you possess?
I'm not sure. Do I? Let's see.
No, not you. The person
I know. But no, my middle toe is the same length as my big toe. Have you seen the Buscemi Jennifer video where they I have? They took what's her name? The chick from I want to say the crying game, but that's not right. Hunger Games. What's her name?
Lawrence.
Yeah, they took her some speech she gave and put Steve Buscemi's face on her the whole time. It's creepy as fuck. It really is.
Yeah, Buscemi eyes. Yeah.
No, they did the whole face, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Wait a minute. Did you guys hear about any other statements yelled out to him other than "This is MAGA country"?
No.
I
generically racist slurs and homophobic slurs, and then there was the TMZ thing about "This is MAGA country." I haven't heard anything else.
Okay, I'm gonna send you guys this link of this article that I'm reading right now because it has a quote in here that I've not seen yet. So,
real quick, thank you, Diesel Dave. He says they could all get together and donate $1 billion to me. They could. They're not gonna.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's the quote, Satsu?
Hold on. I was trying to send it. The attack may have been. Oh, here we go. Aren't you that faggot empire N-word?
Oh.
In 2 a.m. in the dark in Chicago next to the river?
Yeah, they immediately identified him and said, "Aren't you exactly that person?" And apparently attacked him. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it says here.
Okay.
Thank you, Adabisi. Freakish toe people should not run for president. They could be aliens, especially if it's longer than their foot.
I think you might be the child of Satan if your toe is longer than your foot.
Zoran, I'm sorry. That's stream lore now. Toe longer than your foot.
Yeah, that's true. If your toe is longer than your foot, that's
Jack says, I'm saying if a lot of successful people are president, maybe it's because they are successful. Maybe. But think of how many successful people run for president and don't get it.
Wait, if your toe is longer than doesn't the length of your toe thus determine the length of your foot? because your toe's part of your foot.
Oh,
so how can you have a toe
Scribe
that's longer than your foot? I think I just broke my own brain.
You did. It's toeception.
Ah!
Let's see. Jim says it's for natural gas usage. Yeah, we use natural gas for heating here.
You mean you fart all over the place?
We do.
Oh God.
No, when
Michigan stinks.
We got very lucky with the way this house was built. It uses natural gas, which is a lot cheaper. They did a lot of things right on this house when they built it. So that's one of them. Thank you, Diesel Dave. Bundled up for -11.
Damn.
On the fucking, yeah, I want to know how he was dressed. And I'm not pulling the, rape thing. What were you wearing? I want to know how he was dressed out there on the fucking river at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's -11. And that was just the temperature, right? That wasn't wind chill.
Yeah. And so they were saying how, I mean, just today they were talking about how frostbite could happen in minutes or less or something if you have skin exposed to the air. Now, I don't know what -11 does to you or not in Chicago at the next to the water, wind chill and everything else. But I would at least think you'd have a scarf around your face or at least your mouth and nose, because that's the most sensitive parts when it's cold out. And so if he was just walking around with his face fully uncovered, maybe he's got a really high tolerance for cold. But then in the middle of the night to be recognized as a tertiary actor on a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not trying to fall into the range of, I think it's, that's obviously bullshit. It just sounds, every one of these details put together makes it sound less and less likely to be how it went down.
It sounds like we're watching a fucking TV show. Like that's what it sounds like, dude. And like the way it plays out. Hey, aren't you that guy from the doobly doo? Fuck you. I'm gonna hear some bleach.
He doesn't have any features that stand out. He's not like Ron Perlman, where you would like, oh, it's that monkey motherfucker. He's just a normal looking guy. So unless you like watch that show a ton and just you're a huge fan of this guy or a huge hater, I don't know that you would recognize him anyway. But in the fucking dark, on the fucking something is wrong here.
Well, don't you know that Empire is the favorite show amongst out racists?
I mean, still full of black people. Yeah, it's their favorite show.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna. Yeah, day by day, this becomes more and more interesting.
Something's wrong here. Sorry, that's all I'm saying. And guys, I know you guys have been asking a ton of questions. I am so sorry. I'm trying to get to them all.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Zoran Zero, thank you. All this cold talk is really starting to reveal that global warming isn't real. Smile, smile, smile. Also, I meant where the toe is just a bit longer than the rest. You said longer than the foot, my dude.
Yeah, longer than the foot. And I contend that the length of your toe actually contributes to the length of your foot. So you can't have a toe that's longer than your foot. Unless you could. You could have someone else's toe that's detached from their body that's longer than your foot. And you could own that toe as a souvenir. Then you could say, I have a toe that's longer than my foot.
No, you could have a toe on your left foot that is longer than your entire right foot.
Oh, okay. Okay, but that's not what he said.
He said
he didn't specify which foot.
Longer than your foot. Well, he didn't say which foot.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm right.
Balance of the goes to the questioner. That's fine.
God, Frogger or Pac-Man? Frogger.
Probably Pac-Man, honestly.
I
pick Dig Dug.
I don't know. I'm more used to Pac-Man. I didn't play Frogger that much, so I guess just based on experience, I'd probably say Pac-Man.
Dig Dug was my shit.
Frosted asks, Monkey, how do you expect to win the presidency without wearing a shirt? I don't expect to, but I have lovely nipples.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
God, you guys have asked so many questions. I'm so sorry. Jesus. Where are we? Beatles, Who, or Stones? Oh.
The Who, probably. I'd probably go with the Who.
Satsu,
What?
the Beatles, the Who, or the Rolling Stones?
The Jackson 5.
There you go. Do you want? Did we answer that one? Do you want an unsuccessful person to be president?
Oh yeah, you asked that one already.
Okay. Sorry, it keeps jumping. There's a ton of stuff in here. You guys are awesome. Since I haven't been around, this is from Three Sided Coin. I have to give it now. Check this out. The foreign company, they closed the whole floor down in the courts a few months back. The Clinton Foundation.
That would be funny if it were true. I don't think that is true.
Didn't we find out who that was?
No, they still haven't named the company. I think the law firm representing them, their name may have come out, but not the company itself.
Okay. It would be funny if it was them.
Would be.
Because before the election, before Trump won, there was a lot of talk about Hillary and her connections with the Russians.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went away.
Wouldn't that be the greatest twist in the world if the Mueller report comes out and says, we found no collusion between Trump and Russia? Hillary Clinton, however.
Let's see. What the fuck is going to happen if Richard Spencer is president? That will never happen.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Nope. Do you guys like Street Fighter Alpha? I've never been a Street Fighter fan, and I didn't even know what Street Fighter Alpha was. So, you guys?
Street Fighter as a whole is fine. I just suck at it, so I don't play it.
I'm not a fan of fighting games like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Monkey's too sexy for his shirt. Yes, I am. Okay, I've got that one. That one. You guys are doing it. You see, you've taught him Scribe. They're asking the question again.
Uh-oh.
No, that's a good thing. I'm just scrolling through.
I was being melodramatic.
So what about the Clinton Foundation? Are they hoarding? Oh. No, because they pretend to give their money to Haitians.
Like, don't most of these billionaires own businesses that have employees that they pay?
Well, yeah. The argument is, though, they have all this money and their peons don't, so they should give that money to their workers. This is a push for socialism, because people throw around the term socialism a lot, but what it actually means is the workers take over means of production, or is that communism? I get them confused. Anyway, what they want is the workers to get as much money as the people at the top, which, by the way, in very few cases does it actually lead to anybody getting a significant raise.
No, that just means everybody's fucked.
Yeah, it just makes everybody poor.
Derp.
Well, like Walmart gets a lot of shit, but they employ over 1 million people. So, like, okay, that CEO, he got $150 million. Okay, let's take all of that away and give it to the million workers. That is $150 each. Literally not going to change your life. Scribe, don't you think laws about media having to provide equal coverage to each candidate is a fairness doctrine style First Amendment violation?
Well, why does the president get carte blanche whenever he makes a national statement? I can't. Is my First Amendment rights being violated because the president gets airtime anytime he wants to say something?
I think what he's referring to there, though, is that you'd be violating the First Amendment rights of the station.
Isn't that why they exist, though? To cover that shit?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes that's the answer. I mean,
that's my official political answer for Moonbase. I don't know.
What's really interesting about that is like that really results in the news company being like, I don't want to do my job. It's like, okay.
Okay, let's put it like this then. What if it's not gratis given to you by the companies? It's that in this system of you have some kind of governmental support for equal governmental support for candidates, you get money that you can buy airtime on stations as you wish. Just like so, the stations are being compensated. It's not that they're giving it away, but there's some allowance made for candidates to have the opportunity to buy time on either networks or local stations.
Data asks, since when is greed the best motivation? I don't think that's what we were getting at.
Yeah, greed's not necessarily the best motivation. Ambition is always helpful, leadership qualities, etc. But again, there's no legal requirement that thou shalt be rich, thou shalt have leadership skills, whatever. You just have to be old enough and be a natural born citizen. And but those are the official requirements. But there's a whole slew of unofficial ones that, like I say, are I think unfairly prohibitive against any citizen that wants to try to run for president.
What else do we have here? Let's see. Does Scribe feel that the Bible has value as literature? Oh, good question.
As literature, yes. There are some great stories. Oh, I actually took a class in college that treated the Bible as literature, which a lot of people in the class didn't seem to understand that it wasn't Bible study. And so we got to this one point in the class where it was just after we read, I think it was a sort of midterm kind of thing after we read Genesis. And I posed the question as we were talking about it. I said, because I was talking about the character of God. And I said, there's a lot in this story to say that God is omnipotent, that he created the waters and the creatures and the lands and everything else. There's a whole lot of evidence in this thing to say that God is not omniscient because he's constantly angry. And if you knew everything, why would you be surprised by anything? This pissed off so many people in that class who thought it was Bible study, because I was questioning the infallibility of God by pointing out there's a difference between omnipotence and omniscience, and they didn't like that at all.
Dude, that got me in trouble as a kid, because back when it was being explained to me, I had happened to be talking to this older lady who was talking about it, and she asked me, like, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? Because I guess she wanted to hear them. She didn't want to hear them anymore after I said it, but I was just like, you know what? I don't understand how they say in pretty much in every aspect of your life, he made you, he created you. Everything that happens in your life is because of him, right? And I'm like, but when you do something that he doesn't like, you can be punished for it. Yet he created you to do that. He made you the person that you are to do and act this way, and he knows it's going to happen. Yet it's still like you disobeyed him. How is that possible? How can I be created to disobey somebody, and why do I have to be punished for that reason? And she looked at me like, that don't make any sense. You made me a person that would be capable of disobeying you, and I get punished for doing so. How does that matter?
You're only asking those questions because God is black.
There we go.
Dave, thank you so much. This is why I love my new boss. I get half of what the truck makes after expenses. Cool. Somebody asked if it's too late for a birthday song. No, it's not, but I need to know who it's for. Ebony asked, what's worse, a head cold or an abscessed tooth? An abscessed tooth by fall.
Abscessed tooth, yeah, by a country mile. Ugh.
Oh, man, I remember trying to do this show with one. Holy fuck. If it wasn't for rich people who would pay me for my labor, yeah, I have nothing against the rich, and we're going to see that, man. We're going to see this election is going to be a battle against the rich. It's going to be a class warfare.
And then, of course, at the debates, everybody, if somebody says, the rich and and we're like, okay, well, how many here on this stage don't have to work if they don't want to? See how many people have to raise their hand at that point.
Thank you, Jenna. AOC, no logic, think they be fools, silly old monkey. Oh, Della Hayes, it's your birthday? Okay. Della Hayes, another longtime viewer of ours. I fucking love our viewers. I really do. Sorry, I had to wet my whistle for this. Della Hayes. Whoa. What?
You had to wet your what?
Wet my whistle.
Oh, I thought you said wet your willy. I was like, what?
No, wet my whistle. Della Hayes, this one, sir. is for you. And a 1 and a 2.
Really? We got to end with this?
Happy birthday to you.
You just couldn't have let me escape, could you?
Happy birthday, dear.
Thanks a lot.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, sir. I hope you had a wonderful one. Somebody, who was that? Oh, fuck, I forget who said it. They said that a new replacement for the pump up the volume line, which, by the way, is it bigger than a baby's arm? Is it longer than is your toe longer than your foot? Toe longer than your foot. I love that. Guys, we have 5 minutes left. I want to remind you, we're going to be over on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die on the open server tonight. You can join us if you have the game on Steam. Information to join is in the Discords. You can also just come over and watch. We have a lot of fun, and it's going to be a good time. So get your butts over there right after this, guys. Should people running for Congress be required to pass a civics test first? No, but it's a nice idea.
You'd hope that they could, but it shouldn't be a requirement.
Oh man! Speaking of that, I saw an article today that said AOC is much better at politics than her opponents think, and I was like, really? Is that why you had to write an article to convince us of that?
Much better at politics than her. Well, I don't think she's good at all. So if I think she's 0% and she's 0.8% higher than that, it might be true.
Diesel Dave, who said nice scribbles. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The reasoning, if I remember correctly, if I was reading this right, was the fact that when she says things, she knows that they might not be received. Like she knows that that they may not work, but it's not about the fact that it doesn't work. It's about the fact that you have the idea to do something different.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
she's
what?
a fucking idiot. She's a goddamn idiot, and the only reason anybody pays any fucking attention to her on a major scale is because the press keeps talking her up. Every time she talks, she says something fucking stupid, and the press is like, "It's not that dumb. It's not that. She's just the best troll ever. She's just Donald Trumping you." No, she's not. She's a fucking idiot, and they keep covering for her. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Stop apologizing.
No, I don't want to keep going off on this, bro, because I don't know if you guys have noticed. I don't talk about her much because there's no point. She's an idiot, and it's not going to change. But I'm so tired of hearing her. She's playing 40D chess.
Yeah, 7-dimensional checkers.
She's
playing double D chess.
Double D chest? What? I wish I was playing with a double D chest right about now.
Let's be honest. She's playing A cup chest.
Oh.
We got time for a couple more. Let's see. Sassy, when is your birthday? It's April 20th.
April 20th.
Oh, he answered that. I knew that without seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because it's 2 days before mine. What else do we have here? There's the happy birthdays. Has anybody ever worked for a poor person? Sure. A lot of businesses start up, and the people who start them, they don't have money. And unfortunately, the majority of them go out of business. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm trying to find one more good question to end on here. Satsu, have you seen PT or Unreal PT demo?
If you're talking about what was supposed to be the new Silent Hills, I still have that on my PlayStation. Yeah,
don't delete it. You're not gonna get it back.
Oh no, that I haven't. I still have it, and I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to this until forever. Hopefully, they don't make me get rid of it. But yep, I still have it on my PlayStation.
And Lindsay says, how is AOC smart, but Trump is stupid? The media is a special breed of moron. well, when you read those articles, it's usually somebody who has a clear political bend. And you see it the other way too, to be honest. It's not as possible, but if you go check out like Breitbart, they think Trump is really, really smart and AOC is stupid. So if you want a little balance, just check that out. And with that, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Don't forget to come over and watch us on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die. We'll be over there in just a few minutes. You can also play with us if you have it on Steam. Information is in the Discords. Chat, thank you guys so much. You've been so kind tonight, as you are most nights. The only time you're not kind is when you say mean things to me. But you've been very nice to me tonight and very generous too. Holy shit, you've been generous. And thank you for paying me to interrupt Scribe, because that was funny as fuck.
Funny
Scribe
for who?
I thought I was giggling back here like Muttley. I don't know if you could hear it. Anyhow, but seriously, thank you for being so generous. And Scribe, Satsu, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We will be back on Lords of the Night on Satsu 2 Cents channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think that's everything. Everyone, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Later, chumps.
You should have interrupted me saying goodbye. I'm playing.
I should have. I didn't think it.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Tonight's secret phrase is really fucking long toes.